back kind of hurts.
Yeah?
Yeah, all this.
Carrying the weight of us lately?
Yeah, yeah, right? Yeah, just putting you on my back. I'm like Steph Curry or something here.
Right.
Get on, yeah, get on my back. I'll take you to the end, to the.
Was that a Kirby bucket?
Well, he was another one of those guys.
Yeah.
Put yourself on my back. I got you.
Yeah,
got this.
Got this.
So, yeah. Anyways.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
I'm a little nasally today, so I apologize.
Jan, how you doing, bud?
Ooh, doing great.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the 8-Bit Podcast, episode, is this 12 or 13? 12 or 13?
I don't know.
13.
13.2.
Yeah, we're teenagers now.
13.2.
See, I got a little scruff.
Yeah.
Got a little scruff going. Been noticing girls more.
Just now.
They're ignoring you more.
Right. That's how it goes, typically. So, yeah, another beautiful day in Duluth. Not. That's, it's been really rainy lately. You got a little cold there.
I do.
Is that from the rain?
Obviously, yeah. No, I don't know. I thought it was allergies and then a cold, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I'll just whine about it.
That's what I do.
Yeah. It's going to be really fun when I start sniffling during this podcast, or I don't have a sneeze button, so...
We'll just edit it out.
Right.
I promise.
I'll
No, we won't.
Edit projectiles coming.
Yeah.
I got this little screen here, though.
That's why we have it on there.
The mic will be protected.
Mine's on there so I don't spit all over the mic
Right.
and wreck it.
What's the arm for?
I just think it looks cool. It's like Transformers or something. I don't know. I just think it looks
You're
cool.
right, it looks great.
It makes me look legit, like like it's a real radio program.
Right.
So
Cool.
yeah. Plus, then you don't see a whole lot of me. I can hide behind it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I really hate that left shoulder of yours anyway.
Yeah, it's not my best feature.
Yeah, it's true.
So
it's been a little while since we did this, but that's the norm, right?
well, we've been better.
Yeah.
We've been doing better, but yeah, I think this last time we were really busy. B, I think we tried doing this once before and we had a couple technical difficulties, to be totally transparent.
7.
C. So anyways, we're cranking them out. Like we figured out last time we talked, it was like roughly one a month.
Yeah.
If you do the math between when we started and the actual number we put out,
Sure.
it actually comes out to like one a month. That's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, should probably be getting closer to 2 a month.
Oh, I think the number is fine. It's sometimes like some of the content we have now is a little bit later, which one of the things we're going to talk about here.
Right.
But it's all good.
It's all good. So today, I think we're going to talk a little bit about. The last couple of times a couple times ago, we talked about brand identity, the change in that. It was like end of March, so springtime in Duluth, snow was melting, it was a little warmer out. You get the change of seasons, which make us think, hey, what about when people do, a brand identity change? What does that mean? And how does that look? If you haven't heard that one, go check it out. Last time we talked about website change, kind of kept that theme going, where we also talked about, what are some of the cues that would say it's maybe time to change up my website? What are things that would might be obvious, maybe things that maybe aren't quite as obvious, but in the end, why would it, it'd be a change would be a welcome one. So this time we're kind of talking about just some general, just cool stuff going on lately.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the world of social media, which we'll talk about. But I know you just got back from a couple weeks ago. You went to Bemidji, Minnesota.
I did. Yeah.
What were you doing up there?
Well, every year the Bemidji State University has their advisory board. That's part of their design program, and I've been on board.
Good job.
For quite a few years now, spanning a couple different companies. But go up there, and what we do is we help the professors and the program in general just kind of make their curriculum and give them ideas of what we're seeing, what we think they should be teaching, those kind of things, and kind of help them. And that's a long process, and it takes quite a while to get those things changed. But in the meantime, we help out with some of that, and then we also work with their students on doing portfolio reviews. So every senior there has to do a portfolio review as part of their degree, I guess.
To graduate or
To
whatever.
graduate, yeah. So I always think of it as like the American Idol of portfolio reviews.
That's coming back, by the way. Did you see that?
Is it really?
Yeah, on ABC next year. So they took a year off from Fox, and now they're going to be on ABC. Anyways, for all you American Idol fans, if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
anyways, go ahead.
To that watch.
The Midgie? Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. So yeah, it's set up in the same format. The student gives their presentation, and there's 3 or 4 judges or reviewers, I should say, in the front row, and we just give a lot of feedback. And some of it's pretty tough to take, but we're trying to get them prepared for interviews outside of school,
Right.
and what that means. So that's a big part of it. 3 years ago, they started a thing called TAD Talks also, which is obviously a spin on TED Talks, but it's for the technology, art, and design.
Who's Tad? You just said.
Yeah.
I just figured it
Yeah,
out as
yeah.
I said it.
And that's really been taken off. It's pretty cool to get quite a few people there, and they're getting some really good speakers, and they just give a presentation. I think it's like 8 or 12 minutes, something
Wow.
About technology, art, or design.
Maybe we should go do that.
I think I signed this up for next year.
Oh, that's kind of kidding, but
Yeah. Well, that's not official.
I'll tell you what.
Officially unofficial.
Tell you what. You do 8 minutes. I'll do 4 minutes.
Perfect.
12 minutes. Yeah, we'll be pushing it.
I like this. So yeah, I think that's some of it. Every year we do a little tour too. Like I haven't seen the place enough, but there's always new things happening. And when I went to school at Bemidji, it was very actually before I went to school there, it was very graphic design heavy, and they did really, really well there. And then it kind of took a transition. It still did well, graphic design, but then it started doing model building, like prototypes, architectural models, things like that. That was their moneymaker there.
Yeah.
Or at least, I shouldn't say moneymaker. That's where all the students were going and doing really, really well.
I know my brother, real quick side note, shout out to Brad. He's a model maker. He went
Yep.
through the program for a little bit. He actually went there first for Mass Comm, but then a lot of his buddies were all doing the model making, and then they're all working at Nike and stuff, and he's like, why am I working at a radio station? I'm going
Right.
back to do that too. So anyways,
No, that was good, and that's that was a lot of the appeal that everybody was
Yeah.
having. And now their biggest thing is exhibit design.
Oh,
So
yeah?
you think of trade show exhibits or maybe store remodels, things
Sure.
like that. Just trying to think of museums, all those kind of things. They have people that actually make the design of those,
Right.
whether it's the materials, the 3D renderings, the graphic design part of it as well. And
I suppose that, I never thought of that. That makes sense though. You think about, there's so many of these kind of immersive experiences you see now too, like trade shows where you walk inside an actual like whole nother place. And they've got interactive. They've got large formatted graphics and just the whole thing. VR stuff. You name it.
some of the students were even doing presentations as if it was like a Disney World or something.
Sure.
They showed the whole experience of a store slash, I don't want to say ride, but what that would look like, and it's kind of endless for those kids, and they're doing really, really well right now coming out of Bemidji. So it's kind of, the design program keeps taking these little shifts left
Right,
and
kind of based on,
laterally,
yeah.
and
What's cool too, you think about what they're doing there when you got design and model making program, now this exhibit. It's kind of taking all these disciplines and mashing them together into something
Yeah.
else. So
And over the years, it's been really fun to be a part of the advisory board because you see people from all over the country coming in from these companies to kind of headhunt these kids,
Yeah.
or to just see who's out there. Maybe some of them are even mentoring them. So there's always been this kind of core group of the same people.
Yep.
But then the outer edges kind of shift around a little bit. So it's been fun and interesting to learn from them. And
Wow,
yeah.
it's pretty interesting. Did you was Paul and Babe still hanging out?
Paul and Babe were there, yeah.
Nice.
I got nothing else funny to say about that. I think that kind of got us talking about our podcast for today too. Is I think last year when I went there, I got to demo some virtual reality, and this time again we talked about some. I guess I talked, a couple of professors about the virtual reality, augmented reality, we talked about some 3D printing.
Yeah.
Did some samples, some CNC machines, things like that. So it gets me all jacked up when I get back. And
Well, yeah, that's the power of play at work right there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So it's funny you talk about AR and VR stuff. You know, of course, we've been talking about a lot, and it's been a buzz, I think, with a lot of folks. You know, and I've always struggled in the past about it's cool, but how does it really translate to, you know, doing what we do and helping promote brands? And, you know, I mean, I kind of get it, but I would say, and I don't know, Jan, what you think about this, but I think AR and VR are really, really, really cool. But I think when thinking about that, AR is going to be probably more of a specific maybe go-to down the line versus maybe VR, at least in marketing side of things. I don't know.
I think it's going to be the one that takes on a little quicker too. I mean, you already see it in things like Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Some of the
right.
apps you can put on mobile where it's essentially augmenting reality, giving you waypoints and landmarks, things like that.
Right.
In your camera.
Well, Snapchat, et cetera, too, is kind of doing that too. Well, I remember Pokemon Go last summer. I think we talked about one of our earlier podcasts. We were sitting here and look out, and all you saw were these people that are walking like zombies down the street,
yeah.
catching Pikachu.
One of the things I would say about the virtual reality is, I think I mentioned this to both of you, but one of the presentations at TED Talks was a son and mom team that were 5th and 6th generation people at this company that they were doing architectural plans.
Oh,
And now they've taken it into the virtual reality world. So you put on the goggles and everything, and you walk through homes before they're,
Sure.
while they're still in concept phase. And I think that's
that's a great execution of that.
right. And
Yeah,
I think
from a
for
selling standpoint.
for
yeah.
them, it's been great because they said, once you get into that phase, people are coming to the table with everything they want to see already.
Yeah.
And then when it gets into the construction, there's less changes. They already know what the countertops are going to look like. They already
Yeah.
know these things. So they're finding it's less change.
Yeah.
Changes in the long run. One of the drawbacks they're having is a lot of people in the construction world are having a hard time adapting to it. So they may not, be fully on board with this. But it sounds like they're doing plans for people all over the world with this
with
technology.
VR. That's interesting. I know a couple weeks ago too, I know roughly on the same time you went up there, I know like Facebook had their F8 conference, and I know they had unveiled the plans to create more VR and AR content for Facebook. VR being where you could actually basically hang out with your friends in a VR environment, which it's kind of interesting when you think about their model, but it kind of works.
Yeah.
But then they were also talking about AR, and I know like Facebook has their own phone now, and they're gonna create very specific pieces for that, so that you can interact with AR and 3D objects through your camera on your Facebook phone, which is quite interesting because when you start thinking about it. When you first start thinking about AR or VR or whatever early on, it's like it's cool again, but how are we going to use this? And I think that's where now people are actually figuring out like how to actually make it work where it makes sense. You know? So that's kind of interesting when you think about Facebook, and it was no surprise, I guess, too. And last year when they bought Oculus Rift and what they were trying to do, but now that we're actually seeing some actual execution of that, kind of makes sense. So it's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this Apple Clips thing that came out a little while ago?
You told me a little bit about it, but I haven't paid
So
much attention.
yeah, so it's basically, which is kind of cool. I actually downloaded it the other week and been playing with it. Some other cool stuff lately. It's a free app Apple's got out there, and basically what it is, it's to rival. I know Instagram has a separate app for creating content, for video and photos, and it's kind of taking some of this, like some filter ideas from like Snapchat, etc., and overlaying it in there. But but this Apple Clips is cool because you can basically, really simple, you can record yourself or some other thing on a video or take a photo. You can overlay, text. You can overlay little animation effects, and then quickly publish it. Instagram, etc. Super cool, super fun. And you think about it too, like from a kind of a micro, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a micro angle, like from a content creator standpoint, to be able to be out and about, much like when you Facebook Live or you do something like that, where you're kind of instantly becoming almost like a TV reporter or being in part of a thing. This is kind of the same thing where you basically create content on the fly that's really engaging, kind of cool, share with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then too, I saw Snapchat. They added some more lenses and things to their platform. And now you can actually integrate with putting like little animations and stuff on actual, like, say across the room here on the table, you could take a photo or a video, kind of much like the Apple Clips in a little bit, and then you could almost put this VR kind of little hopping bunny or whatever on it. And
Nice.
That's a little bit kind of more fun engagement part,
Yeah.
but I think down the line you see more and more technical stuff with
Right,
it.
it's probably
you
the
know.
tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg when you think about it, you know, and a lot of wearables and things like that out there, like Google Glass. I think you'll actually see that maybe actually having a rise now again of, you know, how do we use this? I think it was cool at first, but then it's kind of like, well, is this really a tangible thing from everyday life? But that's where I think you're gonna see more and more as AR stuff take off. So that's interesting. Sorry, I had to cheat. I think I wrote something on the board here to remember to talk about.
Well,
Yeah, Instagram stories.
mm-hmm.
They're overtaking Snapchat now. They're beating them at their own game. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Feel bad for Snapchat a little bit because, you know, they kind of, I have to admit, for me, at first I was like, well, what is this? This is never going to survive. And then they really did a lot of kind of taking left and right turns along the way to the point where now I'm like, this is pretty cool what they're offering.
Mm-hmm.
But then now, like Facebook, I know they've got a lot of same features, and Instagram steal them, and now they're beating them at their own game. And I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen with that. So
It just pushes all of them to innovate a little bit more.
I guess, yeah, it's going to be,
So it pushes change.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the case for all the social media platforms. Is everybody steals from everybody, different ideas, and
Right.
Improves on it.
yeah, improves on it and makes everybody better.
Yeah, it's blowing my mind. It's
Well, we were talking about it the other day that once Snapchat went public, they lost 2.2 billion.
That's
this
right.
First quarter of this
I
year.
forgot about that. Yeah.
So I read a story about it, and they're still adding users, but they're adding them at a much less rate than they used
slower
to.
rate.
And so I think a much slower rate, not much less. Yeah, I got you.
Much lesser rate.
Yeah. But I think the advertising money isn't coming in quite as much as they thought it would either. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that means for them. I'm sure they'll adjust and be fine. But
Yeah. I don't know. I know we've talked about what are we going to do. I think we've got a couple plans in the works. We're not going to unveil them here, but I know we've already been talking about how to use some of these different things a little more. I don't know what's the word for it. Maybe more offense, you know, where we're kind of coming out and thinking about some of this stuff a little bit sooner. I know we got some ideas for AR, which should be kind of cool.
yeah, and we won't lose 2.2 billion.
We're not going to lose 2.2 billion, and then we won't make 2.2 billion, but.
Yeah, there's that.
So, wow, yeah. So, anyway, it's been an interesting couple of weeks with just there's a lot of stuff changing rapidly there. That so to layer upon a lot of stuff you learned in Bemidji. I mean, you know how it all works together and what industries is still up for grabs, and you know it's kind of an exciting time though too. You know about where this stuff goes.
Well, I think for us, the just talking about it internally is what do you jump on? You know, what's going
Right.
to be
Right.
not only
What
the
should we
next
care
best
about?
technology,
Yeah.
but what's going to be good for our clients, what's going to be good for us, what makes the most sense. So I don't know. I think it kind of drives us insane sometimes during our meetings. That
Right.
what do we want to go after?
Right.
here?
What makes sense here?
But
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I know we want to do this at a later time too, is talking about knowing your audience. I think that's part of it,
sure.
you know, because if you're not doing it for the sake of the right reasons, then why do it, you know? So, but yeah, I think it's good to be at least thinking about this stuff because it's going to be here. Well, a lot of it's here already. It's just a matter of how do you break it down and use it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We didn't have it on the board here, but another app that I've been driving you two nuts with is that Fuse app. It's
pretty cool.
FYUSE.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What'd you tell me to do?
But yeah, I think it's kind of fun. It's got some different I don't even know, different cool things, different features to it. That
It is cool. I I like. Well, you had sent me where you had kind of focused in like on a light bulb and walked around it, and how it just kind of stayed in the center, and then you actually moved your phone to make the background move, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time sharing it on any other platform but their own.
Yeah.
I think we shared something on Instagram, but it didn't quite have the same effect. So
Just a video that came through, which
Just
was
a
still
video.
cool.
yeah, it was still cool, but just not quite what I wanted to show. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna explore a little bit more on that and see what we can do with
Yeah.
it. And
That was Fuse, and that's at what's Fuse.com, or is it on the App Store?
yeah, it's in the App Store. It's not Fuse.com. It's
Oh.
some weird URL that they have.
And that was
but-
FYUSE.
Yep.
Fuse.
Fuse.
What are you talking about?
I use. So yeah,
That's
I've been,
pretty cool.
Yeah, my kids like that app too. We've been screwing around with that,
Yeah.
playing baseball with them, and trying that. So
Those have been really interesting.
yeah,
Well, that's there too. Again, like that, and again, going back to the Apple Clips thing, it's kind of interesting. I mean, just this going from just a plain picture with a filter to making things move and different parts of it move, and it's just different ways to engage and create something that's, just a lot more engaging.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. So, well, that's enough for today. I think, though, next time maybe we should talk more about knowing your audience, or and some of the things that I know we're doing. We're actually working on some new work right now. I know we're trying to figure out audience stuff. So maybe that's a good segue to this point of what we're talking about today. And, definitely that's kind of the basis for a lot of things, whether you're doing traditional, digital, or other types of media, is always knowing who's actually going to be engaging and
Right.
consuming that, so that you get the message right, and we're talking their language. So
Is it the right audience?
this is the right audience, yeah. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit next time.
That
So,
sounds good.
Yeah, Jan, what do you think?
That'd be great. Segue into
Yeah.
our next podcast.
Yeah, I kind of like the fact you're off camera. It's kind of like who's that masked man, or who's that person behind the curtain kind of thing.
I just the whole thing of having a face for radio.
Right. So, all right. Well, until next time, then. I guess what's our sign off? We started to figure out a sign off. That's pretty good. I thought you'd be signing off. All right. All right. Well, take care.